Hi, I'm Mark Salem. My wife and I own Salem Boys Auto here in Tempe, Arizona. I've been a master tech since about the early 1990s. We work on cars and trucks like you do, and one of the things that we work on a lot is shocks and struts. Like you, we have a lot of options when it comes to struts and shocks. The hard part, though, is matching the customer's car and expectation with the shock we pick. Some of them have oil, some of them have gas. But if we technicians were allowed to build the best truck in the world, we might very well take a Duramax engine with the Allison transmission. We might take that Ford Kings Ranch interior. We're going to certainly use Dana drive shafts and driveline accessories, and that might be the perfect truck. Well, there's a shock manufacturer, OSC, that's done that to shocks. OSC has taken the very best attributes of all shocks and struts and rolled them into one premium shock absorber and strut for any kind of car or any kind of application. Let me show you what I mean by taking the best attributes. Here's the inside of a shock absorber. You'll see that we actually have two tubes. The outer one protects the inner one. If we didn't have two tubes, then any kind of hit to the outer one would cause the shock to be bad. So by putting twin tubes here, we protect the shock and make it last longer. Another attribute is the valving. The valving right here sometimes is only one seal and a valve that has two settings. A much better shock has a variety of seals and has a valve that can match any kind of application. What's inside the shock in this cavern is really important. Do we use oil or do we use gas? Or, as OSC does, how about we use both? Cheap hydraulic oil will cause a loss of up to 17% of the shock's ability to do its job. This is exactly why OSC Ride Control uses a premium all-weather SV3 oil with friction modifiers to reduce the friction during the piston rod extension and contraction. So you've done this in front of your customers just like I am. Mr. Jones, there's just nothing left of this shock absorber. You can see clearly that it simply just goes straight down. There's no resistance left. Mr. Jones, this is how a premium shock works. See the difference? There's a big difference when this baby has gas and oil inside of it. It does a much better job than an old dead shock or one with cheap hydraulic oil. We all know that this spring and this strut's job is to push this tire down on the road. Because if it's not down on the road, it's up in the air. And if it's up in the air, you have half your steering and half of your front brakes. Kind of like a dog that walks along carrying one leg up in the air. So as you can imagine, OSC Ride Control has taken shock absorbers and struts to a new level. They've taken the conventional shocks. They've added natural rubber bushings. They wear a lot longer than anything else. They've got gas and oil inside with valving and triple seals that make the shock work and last. The struts, they are really the best strut out there, and this is why. The valving is matching the application. So you're going to be putting a shock absorber on the car by application that's going to make the customer happy. But here's the best part. You're going to spend a third less for OSC Ride Control shocks and struts. A third less. Your jobber, your WD is going to make more money. You're going to make more money. You're going to get a specific shock for a specific application. It's going to be right. And you're going to be putting a premium shock on there that's unmatched in quality and construction by anything else out there. If you have any questions, technical or otherwise, you can email me at mark@marksalem.com.